will continue. Less than 30 seconds. Well, you can watch it. And Dallas can just about stroll off with
went to school is the best kept secret at NBC. Third down and 20 for Kenny Anderson. Throws it out here. He's got a man wide open. Bass first down at the 42-yard line. Right on the money, Ken Anderson to Don Bass.
And Sam, in all honesty, Kenny Anderson has taken a lot of heat. They say he's too shy. They say he's tired of getting hit. But when it comes to throwing the football, I don't think you can find anybody that can throw it on a line 25 or 30 yards right there. Laces up on the right foot. Bass catches it. That's first and 10.
With Bob Trumpy, Sam Nover. Nice to have you with us. Texas Stadium, 94 degrees at game time, about 115 on the floor of the stadium. And as you see, the Bengals already lead it 3-0. A 48-yard field goal by Barr, and Archie Griffin grabbed by Harvey Martin around the neck, and he'd like to take his head off.
Grabbed by Harvey Martin? That's an understatement.
Jim Corbett and number 89, Dan Ross, are the messengers for head coach Homer Rice today. He has used his guards in the past. He has used his running backs, but he has an injury-depleted offensive line, and so today it's Corbett and Ross, and they alternate on every play. Corbett wears 81, Ross 89. Second down, 10, Cincinnati at the Dallas 42. Anderson tried to get it, I believe, to his running back, Archie Griffin, and Brunig had the coverage, and some pressure on Anderson that time. And so on third down, the nickel defense being employed by the Dallas Cowboys. And Charles Alexander comes into the game, as does Jim Corbett with the play from the bench. Three-0 Bengals. Third down and 10. And as soon as we get a chance, there's one final, and a one that has a bearing on Cincinnati, of course, 31-10. The Astrodome, Houston, Texas. For those of you who are watching that football game, welcome to ours at Texas Stadium. It's 3-0 Cincinnati. He's got Bass again. First down and out of bounds. And Bass is killing the Dallas secondary.
And you know who he's doing it on? Hollywood Henderson. Man-to-man coverage. Linebacker on a wide receiver, and they expect Thomas Henderson to make this coverage, but Kenny just puts it once again right on the money. This wing and this wide set that the Bengals are using is making Dallas go to the single coverage. Bass just runs a good out pattern on Henderson. That's a good 15, 16-yard gain.
3 catches, 39 yards for Don Bass, and with the loss by Cleveland today and Pittsburgh's loss to Philadelphia, there are no undefeated teams in the Central Division of the American Football Conference. There is one winless team, the Cincinnati Bengals, but they lead here 3-0 and are driving for more. Anderson, they've got him back at the 35. Randy White is the man who made the tackle, but Bob Trumpy, in our pregame discussion, hit the nail right on the head. The Bengals are throwing on first down.
Randy White, nicknamed the Manster, on Mark Donahue, who is a second-year man from Michigan. Tough assignment for Mark, but I think he'll get it done. White might get through a couple of times, and if I'm not mistaken, that's Randy White's first sack of 1979. Last year he had 8. Dallas was very concerned about his inability to get to the quarterback. Well, concern no more.
They had only 7 total sacks going into this game, but they've had a couple today. Second down, 16 Bengals. And the draw, Alexander, a couple of yards. He reaches the 32. Here's some more finals from around the National Football League. The Washington Redskins have beaten Atlanta 16-7. Dallas will be interested in that. There's the biggest upset of the day. The New York Jets have defeated Miami.
That's 3 straight. Walt Michaels over Don Shula. 2 last year, and now this one.
Has him in his hip pocket. New Orleans beat the hapless Giants again.
That's the other undefeated team in the profession.
And
whoa.
There's a big upset. Philadelphia and Washington are now 4-1. Dallas must win to keep pace today. We'll continue in a moment. Anderson, third down, throws it out here. It's intercepted by Randy Hughes. Ken Anderson is the only man back. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, out of bounds at the 3. Charles Alexander knocked him out.
Sam, the first time that formation worked, they ran Diane Ross in motion. Nobody went with him. The second time, Kenny was pressured slightly. Probably should not have thrown the football. Randy Hughes taking over for Charlie Waters, probably the third best safety there is in professional football. All three of them play on the same team, and that's what you call your turnaround. 1st and 10, Dallas on the 4.
68 yards on the return by Randy Hughes. And while Anderson did not make the tackle, he saved the touchdown, enabling Alexander to get back. So the Cowboys have the ball at the 3.5-yard line and a chance to get on the board. What a turn of events this has been. The Bengals leading 3-0, driving for more, and Anderson is picked off by Randy Hughes. Let's check the other scores. New Orleans has beaten the New York Giants 24-14 in its final. Houston, you saw, over Cleveland 31-10. We told you the Redskins beat Atlanta 16-7. That's final. Walt Michaels and the Jets upsetting Miami 33-27. That's final. And Philadelphia beat the Steelers 17-14. That is final. One more. Minnesota 13-10 over Detroit. That is final.
You saw on the screen there Roger Staubach talking to Tom Landry, Jim Myers, the offensive coordinator, assistant head coach for Dallas, and Jim LeClaire talking on the Bengals sideline to Homer Rice and Dick Modzelewski. Somehow got to keep them out of the end zone here. A true test of a defense. 1st and 3.5.
In the third quarter, Buffalo, boy, they are amazing. They have played some excellent football this year. Baltimore is still winless after 4. Trying to get in the victory column for the first time in 1979.
Unfortunately, though, Buffalo does have to score 50 points a game because they can't stop anybody from scoring.
They're doing it today. They've held Baltimore to 6. So the timeout here, we get things straightened away. The Cowboys huddle now back at the 15-yard line of Cincinnati. John Fitzgerald over the ball. Dorsett and Laidlaw, the running backs. Soldi in motion. Laidlaw, touchdown Dallas. It did not take long. 3-yard run by Scott Laidlaw. Soldi went in motion and led the way.
Tight end trap. Tight end trap up the middle. Good blocking. Offensive line by Dallas. Just left it all up to Jay Soldi and Scott Laidlaw. Watch Soldi block on Wilson Whitley. Just enough to get Laidlaw up through the line of scrimmage. That's an easy 3.5 yards. 6-3 Dallas.
And so Raphael Seption will attempt to tag on the extra point. Danny White will hold. It is 6-3 Cowboys. And we may never know as this day progresses just how big the interception by Randy Hughes really is. Or was, for that matter, as we look back on it. Because the Bengals were driving for at least 3 more. Seption puts it up, and it is good. So there's a timeout on the field. Randy Hughes out for the kickoff. Here's Seption's kick. It is deep. Deacon Turner a yard deep in the end zone. 15 reaches the 20 and will go no farther as he's pushed back. Steve Wilson, 81 downfield, to make the tackle. So Kenny Anderson will go back to work now from the neighborhood of his own 20 Sports World. Pete Johnson gets outside to the 25-yard line, and when he gets outside, he is a lug. Brunig had to ride his back to bring him out at the 27.
Still not healthy, Pete Johnson. Cracked his wrist last preseason game, still playing about one arm. Weighs about 255, 260, and you're right. When he gets rambling, he's tough to bring down.
And I'll tell you, Bob, where they sorely missed him in the opener at Denver, where they lost to the Broncos 10-0, had a 3rd and 4th at the 1-yard line. You did the game. You know better than I do.
Yes, you're right.
And had you had Johnson in there, it might have been a different story.
He's a load. There's no doubt about that.
2nd down, 4 for the Bengals, now trailing 7-3. Anderson to throw it. Johnson could not hold on. Henderson had the coverage. And speaking of Thomas Henderson, that 68-yard return by Randy Hughes was the longest since Henderson's return of 79 yards against Tampa Bay in the 3rd game of the 1977 season.
There's Thomas Henderson. Quieted down a little bit. How many linebackers in the NFL do you know that got enough speed to have to their credit a 97-yard kickoff return? Well, there's one right there. I wouldn't want to try to outrun that fella. As
think you're 100% right. I can't think of anybody. Third down here for Kenny Anderson. 4 yards to go. Bass and Curtis as receivers. Throws it out here to Bass. Caught out of bounds. But he made an outstanding catch. They really caught it out of bounds.
I think he had it.
He is a great receiver, Bob.
I think he had it. And I'll tell you what, Kenny Anderson really got leveled by Harvey Martin. Martin just around Mike Wilson. Kenny in desperation throws it. Still gets enough on it to get it out to Bass. I want to see this. I hope I see his feet. I think he caught that. I don't know how he got that over Aaron Kyle's fingers. In fact, Aaron Kyle tipped it.
I think he came down with just 1 foot inbounds. We cannot see it, I don't believe.
Yeah, but that was a good enough catch. You should give it to him.
But I'll tell you one thing about Don Bass. He's the second best number 84 the Cincinnati Bengals have ever had.
Oh, you're very kind. I didn't do much to that jersey. I very seldom got it dirty. I know that.
Steve Wilson, number 81, back in single safety for Dallas. Awaiting Pat McAnally's punt, and he arches a high spiral. Wilson at the 25. Avoids the first wave at the 30 and out of bounds. And McAnally promised a 70-yarder today. That was not it, but he says before the day is out, 45 yards by the number 5 punter in the AFC, a 4-yard return. Came from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, the Pirates and Reds, and we'll have both the American and National League playoffs. Staubach, the home run to Tony Hill, and he overthrew him. Marvin Cobb and Lewis Frieden had the double coverage, but Tony Hill can run like the wind, and he had 5 yards on both of them.
And Rogers a little mad at himself. There you see the shadow on the stadium, which is tough for the players and also tough on our cameras. Sam, did you know that when they designed this stadium, they had a mock-up with a lamp sitting off to the side of it, and that sun is not supposed to show into this stadium. Somehow they had the lamp in the wrong position, and that's what they end up with. But by the third quarter, it should be gone.
With all the architectural genius and all the money down here in Texas, they couldn't figure it out.
It is a pretty place, though. It is a very, very nice place to watch a football game.
However, it's probably among the 3 hardest surfaces in the National Football League.
And the 3 hottest.
Yes. Draw to Dorsett. Breaks the tackle. Trying to get outside. Into Cincinnati territory and out of bounds at the 47. Run out by Lewis Frieden. But Dorsett broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Giron is the man who ran him out. 23 yards on the carry.
And for a little guy, he has amazing strength. You'll see him run right through the tackle of, I believe,
no, it was Giron.
Dick Giron. Dick Giron, right through the tackle of Dick Giron, and he is right now in full stride. 3 steps, and he's in full stride. And that guy makes 23 yards look so fast. He's not the only Heisman Trophy winner on the field. Griffin's got 2. Staubach's got 1 and 63 for Navy. We got hardware all over the place from the college ranks.
So it's a first down at the Cincinnati 45.5-yard line. There is good reason why Tony Dorsett gained more yardage in college than any living human being. Brinson inside the 45 to maybe the 43-yard line.
Easy,
Jim
Jimmy.
LeClaire, the middle linebacker, getting tough. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League.
I don't think Dallas has run outside their offensive tackles yet. They've run inside the offensive tackles, right straight at the Cincinnati Bengals defensive lineman.
Second down and a short 8. Drew Pearson goes in motion. Dorsett again looking to spring inside the 40. Close to a first down as he reaches the 36-yard line. And the trap blocking up front has been outstanding. The guards Rafferty, number 64, and Scott, 68, are really having a ball with that young and inexperienced front 4 of Cincinnati.
And people in professional football say that there's a difference between offensive linemen and defensive linemen, that offensive linemen are somewhat passive. Well, Dallas fixes that. They draft defensive people out of college and make them offensive linemen. So they've got a mean streak in them. There's the man behind it all. Tom Landry, Tex Schramm, Ermal Allen, Jim Myers. They know what they're doing when it comes to that oblong-shaped thing down there on the field.
Third down, less than a yard for Dallas. Dorsett averaging 9 yards of pop already, 62 yards, 7 carries. Brinson gets the first down as he reaches the 35-yard line. Giron coming up from his free safety spot to make the tackle, but I believe he has the first down.
Close enough to measure, though.
Have they waved in the sticks?
I think they're going to. There's Homer Rice. He's a disciple of the man he works for, Paul Brown, and also Tom Landry. Was the head coach and athletic director at Rice University, no relation. Also helped a great deal in the development of it's a first down Dallas. Some very good quarterbacks. Greg Cook at University of Cincinnati, Rick Norton at Kentucky and Tommy Kramer at Rice.
Look what Buffalo's doing to Baltimore in the third quarter. And before we get off the subject of Homer Rice, he got what has to be termed a vote of confidence from Paul Brown this week. Brown quoted as saying, "I am not a musical chairs man. I am sticking with Homer Rice." Tampa Bay leading Chicago 10-6. Defensive struggle. Oakland has gone on top of Denver first quarter. And Seattle 3-0 over Kansas City. Here it's 7-3 Dallas. Staubach on first down. He wants Drew Pearson. Breeden with great coverage had the interception, but Pearson came back to break it up. Excellent coverage by Louis Breeden, whose best day ever was in a 9-7 loss to Pittsburgh. He shut out Lynn Swann last year.
He has the basic ability to do it, too. There's Drew Pearson and Roger Staubach. You talked about a vote of confidence earlier, Sam. The all-time vote of confidence went to Tom Landry in 1963. The Cowboys were not winning. Everybody wanted Tom Landry's head. So Tex Schramm, Clint Murchison got together and said there's only one way to settle this. And they gave him a 10-year guaranteed contract, and they've won ever since.
That was Bob Trumpy speaking. This is Sam Nover. We're got a nice football game here, 7-3 Dallas on a very warm afternoon in Irving, Texas. Roger Staubach is not particularly enjoying his stats today. 1 out of 6 with 1 interception for 5 yards. But this man has had an absolutely outstanding afternoon. Tony Dorsett reaches the 22-yard line, and a flag is down. First down. It appeared as if they threw a flag, or was that just a piece of paper that blew down?
I think they threw a flag, face mask, against Cincinnati. I want to tell you, that young man has such great acceleration and runs kind of hunched over a little bit, so there's nothing to grab but his thighs. And when you try to, here's the call.
67, face mask on the tackle. First down.
And oddly enough, 67 is Gary Burley, one of Tony Dorsett's closest friends, having played at the University of Pittsburgh with him.
And watch the way he accelerates through the line and breaks tackles like that, although he was not touched, but great moves, great acceleration, and he's an absolutely tireless runner.
And if I failed to mention it before, the gentleman who spoke to you from the field was referee Fred Silva. Dorsett again. Reaches the 11-yard line. Dumped there by Reggie Williams, 57. Burley, at practice here yesterday, probably said it better than anybody else when he looked at the field and said, "I just dread having to chase Tony Dorsett around on this thing."
And chase is just about what you do with that guy. Gary Burley last year had a phenomenal year for Cincinnati. Came to training camp this year about 15 pounds heavy. Is still fighting to get down to playing weight. And with this heat today, I don't know.
Playing at about 275. Second down and 5. Dallas leading 7-3, looking for more. Brinson, 36, behind a Dorsett block, cuts it in at the 10 to about the 6-yard line. And the 3-year veteran from the University of Florida may have picked up another Dallas first down.
And a devastating block by the rookie tight end of the Dallas Cowboys, Cosby. I don't think you're going to be able to, you'll see it just as Dorsett passes, or just as Laidlaw passes. Great block by Cosby. He gets to turn up. And they're going to measure for the first down.
Brinson has been plagued by injuries. He had a shoulder separation, a slight one in the St. Louis game. Also a rib injury was diagnosed. So that young man hasn't really played since the opener at St. Louis. It's the first down, Dallas.
Excuse me, I said Laidlaw, Brinson. They're both replacing Robert Newhouse, who was out with a bad leg. Been bothering him for a couple of weeks now.
Well, they're doing a whale of a lot better than that today. 3.9 per rush isn't bad at all. But you can rest assured that Dorsett well over the 80-yard mark here in the first quarter. And the Cowboys are rushing the daylights out of the football. Laidlaw and Dorsett are the setbacks. First and goal, Dallas. It's Laidlaw. Puts his head into about the 2-yard line. Scott has the Dallas touchdown. Reggie Williams, 57, having to make the stop again.
Sam, this Dallas offense is averaging through 4 games 400 yards a game on offense, which is awesome.
Then explain to me why they've had 3 very, very difficult football games and haven't blown anybody out.
Yeah, they've won 3 games by 13 points total. They played St. Louis. O.J. Anderson had a great day. They played Chicago. Walter Payton had a great day. Last week, they had 5 turnovers. Roger Staubach threw an interception for a touchdown. They've had some bad breaks.
So, Bob Trumpy back in Dallas, Texas. We're about set for second quarter action. First quarter stats very revealing. 104 total yards by Dallas. Tony Dorsett has 81 of them, all on the ground in 8 carries. Cincinnati in a goal line defense, 72 Mac Mitchell, 63 Mike White, 52 Tom Dinkle are all in there. Ken Riley is a lone back. They've got 4 linebackers and 6 down linemen. 2nd and goal. And to the goal line, I am waiting for the official signal. Staubach tried to sneak it in, but he did not get there.
That was pretty tricky. That was Fitzgerald and Roger Staubach all by themselves. Nobody else was even down in their stand. Sam, I might tell you one thing. Tony Dorsett holds the single-game rushing record for Dallas, which is 206 yards. He has amassed 81 yards so far in the first quarter for Dallas.
Keep an eye on that statistic, so we're just probably the length of the football shy of the goal line. 3rd down and goal, Dallas. They lead it 7-3. Early second quarter. Laidlaw is the other back. In motion, Laidlaw, touchdown Dallas.
Same player. Two touchdowns, both the same play. Both the tight end in motion. Both the tight end in motion on Wilson Whitley, just trying to trap him. They let him come across the line of scrimmage. Salter gets him out of the way just a little bit. Laidlaw up the middle for another touchdown.
Laidlaw reminds me a great deal, not so much in style, but in accomplishment, of Don McCauley at Baltimore. He produces.
Very consistent. Will do anything offensively for you to get it in the end zone.
7 touchdowns in 6 games last year, replacing Robert Newhouse. He's got 2 today, and Seption will try to make it 14-3. Placement, kick is up, and it is good. So the Cowboys, after trailing early on 3-0, have answered with 2 touchdowns. Randy Hughes, the catalyst, a 68-yard interception, will return to Texas Stadium in a moment.
There you see the stats on the scoring drive for Dallas. Their 2nd touchdown in that drive of 69 yards. They had 7 first downs. Interesting to say that in the first quarter, Roger Staubach, as you said, was 1 for 6 with 1 interception. Kenny Anderson 4 for 8 for 1 interception.
And here's Raphael Seption to kick it to Browner 21, Turner 22, Nathan Poole 35. And he drilled it right at Turner. About 3 yards deep in the end zone. 15, 20, crosses the 20 to about the 23-yard line and stopped by number 81, Steve Wilson, and number 84, Doug Cosby, a couple of rookies. 25 yards on the return, and the Bengals will set up shop at their own 22-yard line. Don't forget that NFL 79 moves into the 6th week of the season next Sunday. Full schedule of regional coverage games. NFL 79 at 3:30. Our 3:30 games, the Steelers in Cleveland. Won't that be something? Trumpy and I will be in Denver, San Diego, Denver. That should be an outstanding ball game. And the Jets at Baltimore, then at 4:30, Seattle and San Francisco. Preceded, of course, by NBC's coverage of the baseball playoffs. Alexander reaches the 25-yard line. The rookie out of LSU, a couple of yards stopped by Larry Cole. And you know, oddly enough, Bob, the left side was supposed to be suspect with the retirement of Too Tall Jones, or rather the retirement of both Too Tall and Jethro Pugh. But Cole and Dave Stalls have upheld their end of the bargain.
Stalls has been a surprise for him. Larry Cole has played consistent football for this football team for an awful long time. I think it's his 13th year in professional football, and he tries desperately not to get any publicity.
If there has been a disappointment along the front line, it's been 54. The man they say is the best defensive tackle in the game, Randy White. He has not played up the par. Throws it out here, Isaac Curtis, and he can't get it. Badly thrown pass. The pressure was on Anderson, and for just the 5th time in 5 games, they threw at Isaac Curtis.
If he's not open, it takes something away. You're wasting a receiver. Kreider, the young man in there now, is an excellent receiver. I imagine he'll get a lot more business.
3rd down and 8 for Anderson. Over the middle, Kreider couldn't hold on. He got his hands on it, and they say if you get your hands on the football, you should catch the pass. It may have been high, but Kreider is the rookie out of Lehigh.
And in defense of Kreider, that's the first pass that's been thrown his direction as a pro. So you are going to be a little nervous. Kenny zipped that one in there, too. That's 3 downs and out again.
And so Steve Wilson, number 81, is back in single safety. McAnally, number 87, to punt it for Cincinnati. McAnally was the number 1 punter in the National Football League. I know you thought that distinction always belonged to Ray Guy of Oakland, but this guy just went out and just clean beat him last year. And an excellent excellent punt, driving Wilson back to the 22. Looking for the blocking. Got to the 30-yard line and knocked out there by Jim Browner, the Notre Dame rookie. 54 yards on the punt by McAnally, 10 yards on the return. Bob Trumpy back in Dallas, Texas. Irving, Texas to be exact. The Cowboys leading the Cincinnati Bengals 14-3. And Dallas will go to work at its own 31-yard line. Drew Pearson split wide right, Tony Hill to the left. Dorsett dots the I. Takes the pitch from Staubach. 35, 40, almost a first down. May have gotten it. Reggie Williams is the man who made the stop. And why, Bob Trumpy, is Dorsett getting outside so easily?
Well, that was a block by Jay Saldy, who is not only a tight end, but also a split receiver at 228 pounds. There's the final 31-10.
Let's
go ahead, Sam. I'll tell you later.
Houston 31-10. Redskins beat Atlanta 16-7. One of the two big upsets of the day, the Jets over Miami by 6. New Orleans has beaten the Giants by 10. The second big upset, Philadelphia 17-14 over Pittsburgh. Minnesota 13-10 over Detroit. More in just a moment. First down, Dallas. Dorsett got the 10 yards and a little bit more. Play action. Throws it out here to Tony Hill, and he threw it in behind him. Ken Riley might have had the interception. And Staubach is not throwing the ball well today at all. Let's continue with the scores. Fourth quarter, Buffalo blowing out the winless Baltimore Colts. Also in the fourth, the Bears' blood over the St. Louis Cardinals. That does it. Second down and 10, 14-3 here. Dallas leading Cincinnati. Straight ahead, Jim LeClaire making the stop on Laidlaw. So it'll be third down and long now for Staubach, who is 1 for 8 in the passing department.
Sam, one of the real pluses for the Dallas offense, something that Cincinnati really suffers from, that is that Dallas, with the running back like Tony Dorsett, they use a lot of play action. They keep the linebackers uptight, and therefore the wide receivers can get 10 yards down the field and be relatively open. Cincinnati really doesn't have the running game to go to and use play action to keep those linebackers up.
Cowboys are 3 out of 4 in third down conversions thus far. This is second quarter action, and they are moving into the sun. Shotgun used for the first time today. Staubach has a man. Preston Pearson, he couldn't hold on. Bo Harris had the coverage, and Pearson came up a little lame. He is limping. Danny White kicking it to Vaughn Lusby. Good hang time. Inside the 10, Henderson tipped it back, and they kill it at the 2. Well, Thomas Henderson is the first to tell you that he's a remarkable athlete, and he just proved it.
Not the least bit modern. Hollywood Henderson, 55 yards on the punt. Vaughn Lusby on the fair catch signal. And Henderson has the presence of mind to stay out of the end zone. If his feet touch the end zone, he's a very gifted athlete. And it's also amazing he's the starting linebacker and still loves to play on a special team.
So the Bengals trailing 14-3, but that's not the worst news. Pete Johnson gets it to about the 2, and Brunig rides into the ground. I think they'll rule that his forward progress was stopped at the 2, although he reached the 4.
And Sam, I want to tell you, it is discouraging to go on the field with 99 yards to go for a touchdown. And that's the 5th time this season that the Dallas Cowboys punt coverage team is down the ball inside the 5-yard line. And that's an interesting graphic right there, too. Yes, they have the same schedule as does Pittsburgh, except they play the teams away that Pittsburgh plays at home.
And the team that appeared to be the easiest opponent in the first 4 weeks is the team that beat them the worst, Buffalo, 51-24. From his own end zone, Anderson throws it out here to Archie Griffin. 5, 10, may have gotten the first down. I believe he did on a great second effort by the 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. Randy Hughes made the tackle. But I think Cincinnati is out of immediate danger.
Archie Griffin came out of college from Ohio State, where until this year, the only time they threw it was from the center to the punter. And he made himself a good receiver.
I was going to say, let's give him credit. He has worked very hard and very diligently at catching the football, and he has become a better than adequate receiver.
And I'm telling you, Sam, I have never seen anybody on the Cincinnati Bengals football team work harder than Archie Griffin does. Just short of the first down. Oh, it is a first down. Thank you, gentlemen. He is a guy whose heart will not fit in this stadium. If he were 6'3",
that's high praise, and I think one of the things that's made him a better football player this year, at least it's conjecture on some people's part, is the drafting of Charles Alexander.
I do believe that Archie Griffin, whenever he is pushed, he tries 130% instead of 110%. I like that little kid.
Don Bass goes wide left. Isaac Curtis to the right. 45 is Griffin. He gets the football, and Larry Cole has him as he reaches the 13-yard line. Cole, the 12-year veteran out of Hawaii, in the past has been accustomed to playing tackle, was moved outside with the retirement of Too Tall Jones.
And there you saw an example of that flex defense. I think, as put as succinctly as you can possibly put it, the flex defense is designed for one thing and one thing alone, and that's for pursuit for all the defensive linemen. They'll put one off the line of scrimmage so that he can get to the play going the other way.
Would it be oversimplifying to say the flex is a zone defense against the run?
Yes, I do believe that's right. That's exactly right.
Second down for Kenny Anderson. He's got a long 8. Throws it out here. Oh, look at the hit on Griffin. Thomas Henderson.
Little shrug of the shoulders there.
He did that to Brian Sipe last week, and Sipe admits that he didn't see clearly for about 4 series.
And this doesn't only take strength, it takes a great deal of timing. Boom. You say you want to play football, do you? You want to drive a Rolls Royce and wear a mink coat? Well, that's the price you have to pay.
Dan Ross, 89. Steve Kreider, 86. And 40, Charles Alexander, all come into the Cincinnati backfield. And as Bob diagnosed, when Preston Pearson missed the pass on the last possession, he has a slight hamstring injury. That's on the Dallas side. Here it's 3rd down and 8 for Kenny Anderson. Straight ahead. Alexander crosses the 22 to about the 24-yard line. And I believe he's got another Cincinnati first down.
And in college, excuse me, Sam, in college they called him Alexander the Great. Played right down the road from here to LSU, a guy with legitimate 4.3 speed. Good block by Mark Donahue, trap block on Harvey Martin, and that time Mr. Henderson didn't help.
Excellent call from the Cincinnati bench. That is a first down for the Bengals. They trail 14-3. 8:50 to go on a turning clock here in the second quarter.
They got to get the ball down the field to Isaac Curtis, Sam.
Aaron Kyle has single coverage on him. Anderson, down he goes, back at the 15-yard line. Let's pause briefly for station identification. Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy back in Dallas, Texas. And Anderson has just been thrown for a sizable loss. Second down, 18. Cincinnati back at their own 16-yard line. Anderson forced to throw it. As Archie Griffin out of bounds at the 20, Henderson had the coverage. So a very short gain on second down, and it doesn't erase the problem, Bob. Kenny's got a 4th quarter. I'm sorry, it is late 4th quarter. It is not final. Late 4th quarter. 3rd down for Kenny Anderson. Throws it down here, and it's caught. Dennis Thurman had the coverage on Steve Kreider, and they ruled he caught it out of bounds.
Oh.
I'd like to see that one again.
Well, that's one of the first things a rookie receiver has to learn is without looking where that sideline is. And it just comes with practice. Nobody shows you how to do it. You just got to have to.
McAnally back at his own 5-yard line. Steve Wilson in single safety at his 30. I think respecting McAnally a bit more than he did on the first 2 punts of the day. Giving him a good 60 yards, Bob. I think that's safe.
He might get one here.
Didn't get all of it, but it's good enough. Wilson fair catches and goes out of bounds at the 32-yard. The change of possession.
Well, then why was the flag up here?
Let's listen. Maybe Fred will tell us.
Post possession, number 57. Personal foul.
In this series on their own 17-yard line. Staubach tried to give it to Laidlaw, cutting back, and he was stopped for perhaps a yard loss on the play by Eddie Edwards, the 3rd-year man from Miami of Florida. Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas beat Atlanta 16-7. The Eagles shot Pittsburgh 17-14. Second down, 11 now for Staubach. Good protection. Throws it out here short. Dorsett spins around and goes down to the 22-yard line. He looked like he was screwing himself into the ground.
A pirouette. What a talented guy he is. And he looks a little bit tired, but as you said earlier, Sam, just rounding into shape for the 1979 season, out for a number of weeks with a broken toe, dropped a mirror on it on the team bus after a football game. But he's one of those guys that he runs 25 yards, gets up like somebody shot him, and the next time they give it to him again, he runs 65 yards.
Bob, I had the real pleasure of watching every home game he played at the University of Pittsburgh during his 4 years there. And he not only is a great football player, but he's handled his publicity and notoriety better than anybody I have ever met in professional sports. It is third down, and from the shotgun, Staubach to throw it. Throws it down here, and he's got a man. First down to Tony Hill. His first catch of the day, I believe, at the 40-yard line.
And Dallas going with the spread formation. That makes the Bengal defensive back single cover. Three very gifted receivers. Tony Hill out of Stanford, as I said in the pregame program. Dallas took a chance and let Golden Richards go to Chicago and hoped that this guy would develop. Well, I think he's developed about 10 times faster than they thought. That's not a bad statistic right there.
Tony Hill's license plate here in Dallas reads Dial 80. And Staubach has called that number a few times, hasn't he?
And you know what his teammates call him?
What?
Thrill Hill.
I like it. From the 41 of Dallas, the Cowboys already leading 14-3. Drew Pearson in motion. Dorsett trying to cut it back, and this time they were waiting for him. Browner forced him in, and Leclerc filled the hole, and the net result is a loss of a yard.
And if for some reason it does appear that everybody's moving like they have sand in their shoes down there, ladies and gentlemen, it's about 115 degrees on that field. The sun is just now leaving the field of the stadium here in Texas. It is very warm.
And the clock continues to move. 5:10 to go, second quarter. Pearson goes wide right and Hill to the left. And again, Brinson and Laidlaw alternating on every play. They're bringing in the offensive calls from the offensive coordinator, Dan Reeves. The flag is down as Dorsett reached the 43-yard line. Now it is final. I was premature a moment ago, but Tampa Bay has won its fifth straight, 17-13 over the Chicago Bears. Here's another final, Buffalo, and another reasonably amazing football team. They go 3-2 on the year. Could be 4-1 had Tom Dempsey made a 26-yard field goal against Miami in the opener. They beat Baltimore 31-13 today, and the Colts are 0-5. Second down and about 20 now for Staubach from the shotgun. They got it. He got rid of it, and the pressure caused that incompletion. Eddie Edwards was there, so was Ross Browner and Wilson Whitley. I guess they were all there, or at least in the vicinity.
And one thing about the shotgun, it may be good, but when you go back there, everybody knows they're going to throw it. There's Eddie Edwards, Ross Browner on the outside. Eddie Edwards from Miami just about gets to him. Wilson Whitley and Eddie Edwards were the two first-round draft choices a couple years ago for the Bengals, and that's what they're going to build their defensive line with.
You know, you add Mac Mitchell, who was the #1 draft choice of Cleveland, I believe, and of the 6 defensive linemen the Bengals carry, 4 of them first-round choices. Well, Staubach's got a quarter of a mile to go here on third down at his 30-yard line. Steps up in the pocket, throws it down here to Tony Hill. Oh, Drew Pearson, first down and more. Carries a man to the 32-yard line. Drew Pearson, number 88.
Sam, that was 3rd and 20, and if the Bengals have suffered from one thing in the first 4 football games, it is the fact that their defensive backs have not been able to cover anybody. And Drew Pearson, once again, Staubach is kind of flushed out of the pocket with a decent pass rush, but he stands up there, and watch how thrown behind him. Not bad coverage by Dick Duran, but poor tackling once again by the Bengal defensive backs.
Not bad. I would say that was excellent coverage by Duran because Pearson had to turn the other way to catch the football.
Thrown behind him.
It really was not on the money. Pearson just made a remarkable catch. 38 yards on the pass to Drew Pearson, and Staubach wants more. Almost intercepted. Ken Riley, the 11-year veteran, cut in front of the intended receiver and almost had the interception.
He's the elder statesman on the Cincinnati Bengals in his 11th season. And you're right, he almost had him one. A receiver, no matter who it is, no matter how many years he's played, when he goes out for a reception, he must remember one thing: come back for the football. That's a lousy day for Roger Staubach.
So the clock stops with 3:54 to go here in the second quarter. It is a third down. It is a second down and 10 to go. Dallas leading 14-3. Steve Wilson replaces Drew Pearson at one wide receiver spot. Here's a screen to Dorsett. 25, 20, 15. Look at him change direction to the 10-yard line. Jerron made the saving tackle. First down, Dallas at the Cincinnati 11.
Well, we very seldom give a pat on the back to the offensive line, but watch the Dallas offensive line. Fitzgerald, Scott, Donovan. They set the whole thing up. Rayfield Wright at right tackle. Dorsett knows what to do with it when he gets it out there, cuts it back inside, then to the outside. Look at the acceleration that guy has. An amazing athlete.
So
he gets it quickly, doesn't he?
Oh, he's outstanding. There are not enough adjectives to describe this young man who, as I said earlier, is playing in probably his equivalent to the first game of the year. He missed 4 preseason games. Tony takes it again. Outside. Out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. Ken Riley is the man who ran him out. The pulling guard, or the left tackle, Pat Donovan, tried to lead the way.
And it looks like he's ready to faint dead away. And they give him the ball again, and he does it again. And did you notice the strength he had shoving Ken Riley to the ground?
Wasn't that an old Jim Brown trick to get up very slowly after every carry and then lug his body back to the huddle and then go again?
Beat you to death with it. Oh, he's wearing the wrong number, though.
Second down, 5 at the Cincinnati 6-yard line.
Look at Dorsett.
Brinson is the other setback. I bet Dorsett gets it again. He does. Inside to about the 3. Leclerc holding on around his waist as Tony goes to the 3-yard line. It'll be third down, 2 to go for the first down, and 3 for the touchdown. And Dorsett has carried 3 straight times if you include the screen pass.
There's no doubt he's tired. And with as hot as it is, I'm sure that they will platoon their running backs as best they possibly can. But Tom Landry's got a starting team, and he wants to stay with it. And I don't think he cares if it's 215 degrees on the field.
And Cincinnati goes to the goal line defense now. 4 linebackers, 6 down linemen, and the lone backfield man is Ken Riley. And I believe we have a timeout on the field here called by Dallas. And maybe he wants to give Dorsett a ring.
You got it. You got it.
There's a fairly big play for Cincinnati to stay in it here before halftime. Third down and 2. Play action. Staubach throws it out in the end zone. Dupree, touchdown! Billy Joe Dupree. Bo Harris was just simply overmatched. He had one-on-one on the big tight end, Billy Joe Dupree.
Well, what they do is they fake a sweep behind Dorsett. He comes all the way across the line of scrimmage, right at the goal line. Staubach does a good job at disguising it. And Dupree is supposed to outrun Bo Harris. I don't think Bo could have done much better covering Billy Joe Dupree right there. And he's now the 4th best receiver in the history of Dallas, 184 catches behind Bob Hayes, Drew Pearson, and Frank Clark.
Very select company for Mr. Dupree. And Raphael Seption to tack on the extra point. It is perfect. So the Cowboys have delivered a very crushing blow to Cincinnati here just before the 2-minute warning. It is now 21-3, the Cowboys over the winless Bengals. Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy, we are in Dallas, Texas. 94 degrees at kickoff time, about 115 on the floor of the stadium. And the Cowboys are about as hot as the weather. They lead Cincinnati 21-3. Seption to kick it deep. And he drills another one. Deacon Turner, 5 yards deep in the end zone. 15, does not reach the 20. To about the 18-yard line. And as they unpile, 57 is Bruce Huther. And also Ron Springs, number 20, combined to make the stop at the 19.
And if you didn't see our pregame program, we featured the flak jacket that Kenny Anderson is wearing. Comes out of Houston, made the famous last year by Dan Pastorini to protect his lower back. Thing only weighs 4 ounces. and it covers his entire rib cage. Rather warm, though, I imagine, on today. No, he has not gained 15 pounds. That's the flak jacket.
Why would anybody have missed our pregame show? For the life of me, I can't figure it out. First down for Anderson. Throws it over the middle. He's got Archie Griffin to the 25. 30. Dragged down from behind by Randy Hughes, but that's the first down. And we have reached the 2-minute warning here in Dallas. That will be a first down at the 32-yard line of Cincinnati, and Anderson now will put the 2-minute offense into operation. Well, as you can see, just a very small quadrant of the field is still bathed in sunshine here, and by the time we start the third quarter, we should be entirely in shade, and that will be to an advantage, I imagine, on both sides.
I see a lot of fans going over there in that corner. I mean, fans, hand fans to cool people off. You can get a heck of a suntan down here.
You can get a suntan in the shade. From the 32-yard line, pass goes wide left, Isaac Curtis to the right. Alexander 40 and Griffin 45 of the running backs. And to about the 35-yard line, the ball carrier Charles Alexander, as Anderson tried to cross him up a little bit, and he didn't fool anybody. Larry Bethea, 76. And Bruce Thornton, 77, are the men who combined to make the stop. And they have the nickel defense in there now for Dallas. Second down, 6. Throws it over the middle. He's got a man. It's Bass to the 45-yard line. Bass is one of many Texas natives playing in this game for Cincinnati today. Billy Brooks, of course, is not here. Bujnak is injured. Blair Bush, Vern Holland, Wilson Whitley. Great catch by Jimmy Corbett at the 43 of Dallas, and Cincinnati slowly, inexorably moving downfield.
But you know what, Sam? A lot of people ask people in football, why is it so easy for you to gain yards the last 2 minutes of the half of the game, and you can't do that during the football game? Well, the reason is Dallas is sitting back far enough to make sure that they don't get a touchdown. They'll give up 10 yards. They don't want to give up 6 points.
Okay, we'll return in just a moment. The announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. A minute 12 showing here in the first half. Cincinnati has moved the football now to the Dallas 43-yard line, where they have a first down. And to score here before halftime for the Bengals could be very, very valuable. Griffin inside the 40 to the 38. Upended there by Randy Hughes, the strong safety. It'll be second down and 5. The Bengals have 2 timeouts remaining as we move under 1 minute. Anderson back to pass on second down. Has a man back at the 21-yard line. And he held onto the football. A great catch by Don Bass.
Great concentration on the football, and he took a good lick. A very good hit from Dennis Thurman, and hung onto the football. The Bengals will call a timeout. Now they got it on the 20-yard line. And to add one more thing of what I said, why it's so easy to get yardage with 2 minutes to go in the half, and that is the defensive backs are protecting only one part of the field within the last 2 minutes, and that's the field behind them. The rest of the game, they're protecting all the field.
Harvey Martin, number 79. Words, I still sometimes insist on using the words. So here we go. Blair Bush out over the football. First down Cincinnati, and they send Bass wide left. And Isaac Curtis, despite what appeared to be a little hamstring problem, to the right. And the pass out here intended for his running back, Charles Alexander. Cliff Harris had the coverage. It goes as an incompleted pass.
And Isaac Curtis is limping and limping badly. I'm not sure if it's hamstring or his hamstring or what, but I think he was the primary receiver on that play, and Kenny threw it out to Charles Alexander in the flat. Hopefully we'll try to get a picture of it. I think it's his left leg.
Nobody has caught more touchdown passes in Cincinnati history than Isaac Curtis, a total of 37, but he has been rendered ineffectual for all practical purposes here in 1979. Well put, well put. Second down, Kenny Anderson. Hegman faking the blitz. They throw it out here to Alexander, and Hegman got over to make the stop on it.
Same play, different coverage. You remember number 58? I think the last time you saw him was in Super Bowl 13 when he stripped the ball from Terry Bradshaw after Thomas Henderson stopped him, and there they are.
That was the nasty duo, wasn't it?
Well, it was if you were from Pittsburgh. I kind of enjoyed it.
You know, the odd thing about that play is that it cannot happen again.
You're right.
Because of the new rule, the whistle blows when the quarterback is in the grasp of the defensive player.
Absolutely.
Third down. Anderson Henderson needs to play, to say the least. Trailing 21-3. Tried to throw it ahead to Alexander, and it's ruled an incompleted forward pass. Larry Bethea broke it up. He picked up the football, but that will be ruled an incompleted pass. Randy White was there.
It almost worked. That's the old shovel pass. The first team I saw ever do that was Dallas, from just about the same thing in shotgun formation. What he tried to do is an underhanded forward pass to Charles Alexander on the backside of the pass rush. There's nobody left. Everybody else in the defensive backfield has got coverage on somebody. Field goal time.
Well, it was a great play theoretically. It just didn't work. And so Barr will attempt one now from the 29-yard line.
Look good on paper.
Yeah. Ryder will hold at the 29. An attempt of 39 yards. Chris Barr, his second attempt of the day. He's 1 for 1. He kicks this one, and he nailed it. So Barr has been the only offense Cincinnati has had this afternoon. With 39 seconds to go in the half, the Bengals now trail 21-6.
Will it be Bly-Levin for Pittsburgh?
Good question. He worked yesterday. We'll have to wait and see. It all begins Tuesday night at Riverfront in Cincinnati. At the 20-yard line, Brinson with the football, 35, and he's tackled on the far side of the field. Over there to make the stop was Tom Rood, 51. And so the Cowboys, I would imagine, will be content to run the clock out here with 31 seconds to go and starting this series at their own 35-yard line.
You just did a baseball promo. I think we at NBC got to say congratulations to the Montreal Expos. With all the doubleheaders they had to play in the last 2.5 weeks in the season, Dick Williams has done a marvelous job with that baseball team. It is very young, and they really deserve to get in the playoffs, and I'm very sorry to see them lose.
Ditto, ditto. I don't know if I can ditto the last part of it, but I'll ditto the first two. To the 40-yard line, Laidlaw, number 35, the ball carrier. Ross Browner, 79, is the man who made the stop. And they are letting the clock run, as one might expect, leading here 21-6, and the Cowboys have had themselves a first half. Now, there's a big question to be answered here, Bob, and that is the Cowboys haven't hurt anybody this year as regards blowing them out of a football game. Can they do it to Cincinnati?
Well, I do think that Cincinnati's kind of been snake bitten this season. Dallas has not played very well, and still they're up 21-6.